We are going to have some attendees coming in as we go, and I think we could all agree that is absolutely acceptable. Happy Monday, and I think we're all glad that we are not in a state dealing with an ice storm and outages of power right now, so we'll take the rain. And as we go through introductions, if anyone comes in, if you'll just let them know that they can still join us in those introductions. So with that being said, I will call us to order, and we'll make our introductions here first and then go out to our attendees. I'm Lee McElroy. I'm the Director of Prevention Services with Eckerd Connects.
Rebecca T-Bear from the City of Melbourne.
Danielle Kratz from the City of Palm Bay.
Phil Scarpelli, CEO, Family Partnerships of Central Florida.
Cynthia Ramos at Department of Health.
Doug Reynolds, Public Defender's Office.
Gabrielle Bargerstock, Healthy Start Coalition.
Dr. Chana Spear, Brevard Public Schools.
Tracy Clinkfield, Department of Children and Families.
Omar Bolo with the Department of Juvenile Justice.
Jean Bandish, Brevard County Courts.
Flagler Volusia.
Bradley from Brevard County.
Mark Andrews from Brevard County.
Anita Black, Brevard County Housing and Human Services. And Mark Andrews, he's the new person that's our Special Projects Coordinator 3 on Merritt Island. He will be working alongside me with the opioid abatement program.
Welcome.
Devine Vincent, Family Partnerships of Central Florida Affairs Division.
Jessica Miles, National Center for Innovation and Excellence.
Brett Carmen, Brevard County Sheriff's Office.
Steve Lord, Circles of Care.
Amanda Hernandez with MAD Central Florida. Gina Iron, Eckerd Connects. Janine Doyle, Family Partnerships of Central Florida.
Henry Angelo, the Fire Watch.
Cindy Mitchell, Salvation Army Domestic Violence Program.
Benny Parrish, Steps.
Dina Bessa, Early Child Support.
Mary Beth Mish, Court Administration.
Lindsay Gregg, Family Partnerships of Central Florida.
Corey Fisher, Recovery Connections.
George Margolis, Recovery Connections.
Laura McCarthy, Brevard Recovery Fest.
Melissa Brandt, Recovery Connections. Abby Jones, Lifetime Counseling Center.
Stanley Briz, Uplift Drug Free Coalitions and Brevard Opioid Task Force.
Jamie Merrill, Boys and Girls Clubs of Central Florida.
Welcome. Thank you all for attending.
I think our first order of business is approval of our minutes from the November 10th meeting. Did anyone have any changes to make to those minutes? I do not hear any changes. Would anyone make a motion to approve?
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve the minutes that was previously sent out.
Okay, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the motion passes. I think today we're going to leave with a lot of great information. And to start us off, I'm going to bring up our first speaker with Firewatch. Come up and join us.
All right. Good morning. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Let me go through the slides here. Okay. All right. So thank you guys for the opportunity to present what the Firewatch is. I'm going to be kind of going back and forth, and I hope everybody can hear me when I speak loud. So what the Firewatch is, what we want to do, why we are doing what we're doing, and why I am here in the first place. All right, so my name is Henry Angelo. I am the Regional Director for the Firewatch. We are a veteran organization that provides free suicide prevention in the veteran realm. I myself am a 12-year Marine Corps veteran and a mental health advocate as well as a veteran advocate throughout what I've experienced, and now I'm trying to portray my experience to other veterans that are transitioning or maybe going through their own journey. But I am here representing the Firewatch. We are a education and training / intervention training organization that provides quick and easy ways for anyone to speak to someone that may be in trouble, connect with them, and hopefully lead them to the resource that can help them. And that's where this partnership comes in. And all of the organizations that are here play a critical role in the community, and that is why this is a major kind of catalyst to push our training into the community, to connect with those veterans that are in the community. All right? So who we are. We started in 2019 because there was a huge spike in veteran suicide in the Northeast Florida region, meaning the Jacksonville area, and that's where we started. Since the VA, as we know, as the Department of Veterans Affairs has put a lot of money into suicide prevention, because suicide is one of the critical kind of crisis in the veteran community. But those numbers when it comes to suicide and veterans, unfortunately, haven't come down, right? We've always heard those 22 a day, 19 a day. All of these numbers are very high, right, when it comes to suicide in veteran realm. But the VA, unfortunately, hasn't been able to bring those numbers down. So a couple of people above my pay grade came together and said, hey, we need something different. And what did they come up with? Which was the Firewatch, which, again, involves the community integrating into that prevention of veterans. So a study came out, and it kind of comes out every year, that only 4 out of 10 veterans are connected to the VA. So what does that mean? That the other 6 veterans are not connected to the VA in any way. They're not getting health care. They're not going in for checkups. They're just not connected with them. So what happens to those veterans? They are in the community still, right? They still reach out to other organizations for assistance, whether it's financial, whether it's psychological, whether it's assistance for their families, whatever kind of assistance they need. So we are partnering with community organizations so they can help those veterans that aren't connected to the VA. So that is what our mission is. That is what we're trying to do. So this is a little bit about our state here. So these are 2024 numbers. So out of the almost 24 million people that we had in the state, about 1.4 of those, maybe a little bit more, are registered veterans, right? There's a difference between veterans that are registered and veterans that aren't, unfortunately. So these are registered veterans in the state. The number that I want you to see here is that there were 622 registered veteran suicides in the state in that year. Okay, so that is the numbers that we're kind of dealing with, that we want to connect with. And then if you look at the heat map, you can see a lot of the red regions are where there's higher number of veteran suicides. One of those being Brevard County. Brevard County averages about 30 veteran suicides in the county alone every year. So that is a lot. And that is why Brevard is one of our targets. I think Hillsborough County is the only one that is a little above that. And then, of course, Palm Beach as well. So between those 3 counties, there's a lot of veteran population. A lot of veterans like to live in those counties. Obviously, in Brevard County, there's about 70,000 registered veterans in this county alone. But with those high numbers, unfortunately, come those high suicide numbers as well. So that is what we're trying to target and hopefully bring down in a partnership with the community. This is our motto, that suicide is preventable. There isn't a major catalyst or really major reason for someone to go through with the suicide and not someone in the community be there to help that person. Whether that is a financial crisis that turned, whether that is a mental health crisis that obviously turned tragic, but the prevention markers can be there, set with that person before they get to that crisis moment. And that is what we are trying to do. We are trying to partner with as many organizations as we can in the community so that we can provide this basic training pretty much to all of their staff, anyone that really interferes or really interacts with veterans in the community. And so they know how to talk to them, how to connect with them, and then how to lead them to that resource that can help them. Our goal is to reach 30,000 plus community members as far as what we call watch standers that are standing watch in the community for the veterans in the community. Right now, we have about a little over 10,000, and that's been since we started in 2020. 2021, because we all know what happened in 2020. But since 2021, but now our goal is to reach that 30,000 in the whole state. This is our first program. Like I was saying, it's called the Watch Standard Program. This is a program where anyone can go on our website, and it's about 30 minutes. All you need is your email address to sign up, take it. It's a couple of videos you watch on there, strictly informational. There is no quiz, there is no test. So anybody can go on there and take it. You get a certificate afterwards, and then it's all about creating awareness after that. It asks for nothing more than what everyone is kind of doing already. This is an additional tool for people to use and hopefully help people that they interact with, people in their personal lives, whoever needs that help at the end of it. And then we have our second program, which is our Veteran Safe Place program. This program brings a Veteran Safe Place designation to end a whole organization. So the whole organization, we come in person, provide the training. Again, it's about 45 minutes. And then at the end, we certify them as a Veteran Safe Place. So what comes with that is we promote them in the county, throughout the state, and then we partner with them to help the veterans in the community. Hopefully lead them to connect with the VA, connect with any other resources that are in the area as well, so that we all could build a network and help whatever case may come up between those organizations, right? Kind of like the big network that you guys already have here. So those are our two programs that we hopefully want to reach more people with. And then it's all about creating awareness after that. This is our impact. Like I said, we started in 2021, 2019 technically, but 2021 really implementing our programs. So since that time, we've only seen a 1% decrease in veteran suicide in the whole country, 4% in the state, but there has been a 46% decrease in the area where we started. And not to say that that's the Firewatch alone. Obviously, all we're doing is connecting and creating that network for other organizations to kind of connect with the veterans that aren't connected with the VA or any other big organization. And hopefully we can duplicate that number throughout the state, right? County by county, we can kind of do that together. This is my contact information. If you guys are interested in any of the programs, please come see me. I'll be here for the rest of the time. If you guys want to also register as a watchstander, please let me know, and I would love to sign you up. All you need is an email address. Like I said, quick and easy, and it's strictly informational for everyone to have.
Thank you. I do have a quick question. Have you been able to connect directly to a lot of our DoD companies here? Because a lot of veterans do go to work for them.
Not yet. That is
See
my
me-
big.
See me after the meeting, please.
Definitely will. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I think I have a question, maybe a comment as well. Are you connected to the VSOs in the area?
I am, yes.
Okay.
The VSO office has been very friendly and generous with us.
Okay, so for those that do not know, and I don't know the whole acronym myself, even being a retired Marine, but so thank you for your service. But as far as the VSOs, those are connection points for veterans to fill out claims, disability, and stuff like that. So I thought that would be a primary source, and then a lot of our uniform officers that serve, whether it be fire department, whether it be law enforcement, whether it be probation, you name it, government service, a lot of those folks are former military because hiring practices allow them to enter in those realms. So I would also see that as a connection for you as well.
Oh, for sure. I would love to connect with them and give them. I gave, I think about a year or so ago, I did a thing with the Brevard County Sheriff's negotiators group. But I'm hoping to do more and connect with them a lot more as well. In our program, you know, obviously it's geared towards veterans and veteran issues, but it's geared for everybody, right? Because it's Brevard County, we all know either we work with a veteran or have a veteran family member. So that's what it's really to create that support around the veterans. Thank you.
Henry, you can't get away that fast.
All right.
You bring up a very sensitive topic for many of us, particularly who are clinically minded and who have families that are veterans of war and stuff and military. The number of non-registered, what would you surmise is a percentage that can be estimated that we're not capturing for not registering? And why? Why don't they register?
Okay, that's a loaded question as to why. But as far as the numbers wise, we're waiting for the new 2020. Okay, so the 2026 National VA, Department of VA Veteran Suicide Report is meant to come out either this month or next month to show the 2025 numbers. So then we'll know what 2025 actually looked like. But from the 2024, like I was saying, only 40% of the veterans are actually connected to the VA in some way. Most of them are not. Either because of when they transitioned out, they just didn't connect with them. I got out of active duty 2011 or so, and it was a quick transition out, right? It wasn't all right, go here, go here, go here. It was a quick transition out, and it wasn't until about 2018 that I actually connected with the VA myself, right? And I'm sure many stories are like that they don't connect with the VA. And a lot of other veterans aren't aware of the services that the VA provides, right? They just think it's a one-track thing, but there's so many departments in there, you know, that can help from homelessness to financial to all these other things in there. So kind of connecting with those organizations, you know, there is a gap there. What is that gap? Unfortunately, I don't know.
Yeah.
Above my pay grade.
Yeah, many of us in the room, although our target, you know, our catchment area is, you know, populations of children, youth, adults, and et cetera. But, you know, when I think about, you know, trauma-responsive philosophies and cultures, we oftentimes probably lean a little bit more to what is impacting children and youth. But this is a population that if we were a society of a cultural responsiveness to trauma, I think we might be able to engage that population towards help and guidance. But I'd love to talk to you more if you leave a card or something.
I'll put my card in the back.
Yeah.
Please take it and reach out. And any other questions, please come to me. I'll be here the whole meeting as well.
I have a quick question. Are you connected to Career Source Workforce Centers?
Yeah, we actually did a training last year, and I hope we were part of it now this evening. And I think we're working on designating a better safe place as far as career source as well. Thank you. So thank you for all you guys are doing. Thank you again for your time. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Don't forget to mention the 8th,
Oh,
April
yeah.
8th.
We have, thank you. We have an event that we put together with Recovery Connections, and, God, my mind is
You're
blanking.
getting there lifetime.
I know. And so it's April 8th at the Center for Collaboration in Rockledge. So we're working on the flyer now, so if you're interested, please come by. We have cards, and Recovery Connections is there, and so is Avid as well. All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Okay, next up, we have the Boys and Girls Club of Central Florida.
Good morning. And thank you for your service and for what you're doing for our veterans. My father is a veteran, and so many of us are connected, like you said, so that's such a great cause. I get the pleasure of talking about our wonderful youth, and there's so many great causes that are out there. But I am incredibly passionate about the youth that we serve. So just a little bit about us, if you don't know, I cover all of Central Florida. So we have 5 counties, Brevard being one of them, Lake, Orange, Osceola, and Seminole counties. We support, this is gonna show you 13,000, but our new numbers just came out, and they are 14,000 youth across Central Florida, ages 6 to 18. And if you put in our alumni associations beyond that, it would be incredible. So we have in the last 80 years supported over 300,000 youth who continue to touch the lives and hit millions and millions and millions of individuals. In fact, I was just having a conversation earlier with somebody in the audience, and one of the things I love most about my role in our organization is that Boys and Girls Clubs always solicits a smile and favorable memories. And so whether it's somebody that worked for us, somebody that went to our club, they sent their kids there, it always brings back the greatest feelings. And that's one of the reasons that we're able to accomplish exactly what we're able to accomplish. So let me share a little bit about this. Our metrics, and I want you to think about just how large I said our organization is. Our metrics are second to none. And we are incredibly proud of that. And we do that because of the belief that we have in all of our kids and how unbelievably open and honest we are from the very beginning to train them up to be the next leaders of tomorrow. 100% of our seniors graduate high school every single year. That is incredible. When you think of the fact that we have over 6,000 teens in Central Florida that we support, so half of our population is teens, and 100% of our seniors are graduating. 99% of them abstaining from smoking, 98 from the use of drugs, 97 from the use of alcohol. One of my favorites that I always love to say is this one, especially for those of us that have had teens in our own homes. 95% of our teens say that they have a very positive, trusting relationship with an adult mentor. I mean, how many of us can say that in our own home with our own teens, right? So it's amazing, and they show up, teens vote with their feet. They show up not because they need childcare. They show up because they know what we can offer, and because we're giving them the brighter tomorrow, and we're breaking the cycle of generational poverty, and that's one of the things that we love. So I'm not gonna sit here and tell you all the things about opioid, because you know that. You know the statistics, you know how terrible it is. But we also know that 90% of addiction happens during the teenage years. And what we are incredibly passionate about is that those that come from disadvantaged circumstances, that percentage grows and grows and grows. Those that are in poverty come from depressive type situations, abusive type situations, anything that you can think of, right? They may not have the resources. Those addictions, those opportunities to get involved, drugs, gangs, violence, things like that, all that is interrelated and interconnected on a regular basis, those metrics just continue to grow. That's why we want so badly to continue the programming with our opioid funding. So a couple years ago, we were one of the pilot organizations that had funding at a state level to do some opioid prevention training. It was so well received by all of our kids at all levels. We were doing training with these incredible kids starting at age 6, all the way up to 18, and we do it based on what's appropriate for the age group. But the feedback that we got, because it sits so well in our social emotional learning, trauma-informed programs that we're already running, was how impressive the kids were to talk about their refusal skills that we were training them. Because so often we want to think about not talking about the delicate topics, not talking about abstinence, not talking about how to refuse and putting them in situations. I'm telling you, kids learn best when we are honest with them at age-appropriate levels. Ladies and gentlemen, I have an 8-year-old that attends, my own son. My daughter is 21. She works in the clubs. My 8-year-old attends the clubs, and I have these same conversations with my own 8-year-old because I believe, even in my family, it's something that is needed to discuss. Things that they're gonna come up against. What does it look like for bullying? What does it look like to say no? How do you make those decisions at age-appropriate times? And those are the things that we are constantly talking about. We go through ways to promote education. We involve community members. We involve resources, and we are taking them through how to say no. We do similar to what we do with financial literacy, and we take them through often reality stores and reality experiences of what it will look like. And that is how we are getting the results. So when we had this pilot program, and it was a resounding success, not based on just the metrics that we were seeing in the evaluation tools, but the direct feedback that we were getting from our kids on how much they wanted this programming. When it went back to the counties, we knew that we needed to come out and ask for the same type of funding. We have been successful so far in gaining funding to restart the program in both Orange and Osceola counties. We are almost there with Seminole. and wanting to make sure that we get Brevard and Lake across so that every single one of our children and every single one of our clubs is having the same experience, and we can start it. Because treatment and recovery is incredibly important, but the way to success is to prevent it from starting to begin with. So, how do we do that? We have a Smart Suite program, and I would love to send you a little bit more of a proposal and detailed budget, which I can get to you afterwards. But we have a Smart Suite proposal that talks specifically about these ages. So smart kids learning how to make those decisions, learning what the words are, learning what's out there and what they could potentially come up against. Learning when they go to a park in the nearby area, what needles are and what not to touch and what not to play with, and the effects of that. Also recognizing that they have loved ones in their home and that they may have seen that struggle and also need treatment. So we've been able to partner with some of these other great organizations to help our families and our entire community. Stay Smart with preteens, and Start Smart, and then Stay Smart with teens up. We also do Act Smart, Be Smart, Continue Smart, things like that. We have great evaluation tools that are continuing to show us 100% success over and over and over again. And then we also work with, we have this incredible programming, the Health and Opioid Prevention Education, that we've brought in to allow us to partner with these outside community resources, outside members and mentors of the community, our sheriff's departments, our other organizations, to really help them to show differences, multi-generational, multi-organization, opportunities where we can advocate together for the benefit of our youth. So that is my request to you. Allow us to bring back this incredible program to the kids that we serve in Brevard, just like we have in some of the other counties, so that we can continue to help to lift up the future generations of tomorrow, making sure that they're going to say no and the opioid problem starts to go away, because we know we are part of the solution. Questions?
Yes. I'd love to support what you're doing. I think that
Thank you.
Mentoring in society is something that needs to be on the rise and not on the descent, right? I've been a mentor my whole life.
Thank you.
I still mentor kids coming out of foster care.
That's amazing.
And I think your program is wonderful. I think certainly the mission, you sound like you have guiding principles. You're looking at a healthy child mentor, child youth, opportunities for relationships. That's all it does. It takes one adult child to change the trajectory of their future.
That's right.
I've seen it.
That's
I've
right.
lived it. And so I'm a part of a couple of aviation and flying clubs here in Brevard County that have a mentoring program that, if you're interested, because I think you have all of the elements. So what can we do as, outliers about augmenting what you're doing? I think sometimes adding content by which mentors and mentees can get together and learn. What I love about aviation is many things, but one of them is that we have a zero tolerance for any substances.
That's right.
Can you imagine where not on the Earth's surface, but in the air, can you tolerate stuff like that,
That's right.
So those are people who have basically clean histories, and a very good focus on mental wellness and avoidance of even casual substance use and stuff like that. So it's a positive influence and stuff
Absolutely
like that.
it is. And I would love for you to connect me with that.
Yeah.
That fits into our program so well for many things, many reasons, not only just for prevention and understanding of substance, but also one of the ways that we help to break the cycle of generational poverty is by teaching the kids other opportunities and careers that they could go after. I mean, this is why we have so many incredible volunteers and partners out there. There are true metrics and studies that show that children that were raised in poverty cannot see beyond the 4 blocks that they were raised in. And if you really think about that for a moment, right, we will often say, well, they just can go get a job or they can dream. But they don't know how to dream if we haven't taught them how to dream. So why our mission is so critical and what makes us so successful is that we treat...
because that's what kids want. They want to be able to save face. They want to be able to hold the line.
That's right.
But save face in the conversation with their peers and not look like a punk or whatever the term is now. I'm well above my my son will probably tell you the verbiage for that, but nonetheless.
I'm sure I know it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I'm sure I know it too, but nonetheless, I think they're more connected.
They are.
To understanding that, I think a source of connection for you would be diversion programs.
Yes.
Within the courthouse, state attorney's office here, because they run the diversionary program here. And then in Seminole County, it would be the PAY program, because they run the diversionary programs there, and they have a plethora of them.
Yes.
And none of them look like what you just said up there. So none of them teaches them what to say and how to say in those, those areas. They teach them certain things about drugs, or they teach them certain things about bullying, signs, but they don't put the words in their mouth to say no and how to say no without losing reputation.
Yeah.
So I think if you connect with those entities, those diversion programs, and even those programs within probation and even residential services.
I'm actually headed up in 2 weeks to some Boys and Girls Club programs that are in some of those residential services to be able to talk to a group
Yeah.
of girls for that reason.
So I would love to further the conversation with you myself, because obviously with DJJ, we have certain contracts, but really being able to put you in contact with some of those folks at headquarters would probably be advantageous for us in Central Florida.
I would love that, and I am a huge fan of it. Back in the day, and I know that we can all say this, but back in the day, there were so many things that were taboo conversations.
Absolutely.
Drug usage, sex, anything that had to do with mental health. I mean, I think even the way that I was raised, my mom is one of my best friends, but it was very much we're going to go to church, just don't talk about it. We'll just take her to church and it'll be fine. It'll be fine. But the reality is the kids can make better decisions when you can put it in front of them. And that is why we believe it. And that is no matter what. If the kids have fallen off the path, like those that you're talking about, we can very easily help them to get back on, to be able to say, let's think about how we can make that choice. Instead of just saying, no, don't do it. That doesn't work for kids that have been put in those bad situations and don't understand how to come out of it and still save face. I would love that. Thank you.
Yeah. Going parallel with that, I would love to see a program that addresses what you said related to the parental aspect. How does parents allow those conversations? Because no matter what conversation you have with a child, if it's those taboo conversations, you're going to be fearful of them. But giving them tools, tips, and what to say to accept those conversations, and then work in reverse to help them solve their own problems.
Actually, that's a big part of our curriculum, is we have an entire part of the Smart Suite, which I can share with you when the entire proposal. But part of that, there's an entire parental guide and education that we're taking them through, evaluation courses that they're walking through, not only just for the benefit of the child that we're seeing inside of our club, but themselves and their family as well. Because we believe that if we can help to correct the environment of which our children that we serve live in, then the entire situation is better and the community is better. Yes, I would love to follow up.
Thank you.
And I just want to applaud the conversation you brought up a couple of times about community partnership.
That's right.
And also just emphasize how much we value Boys and Girls Club in the community.
Thank you.
ECHR Connects does school-based prevention services, and we partner with our public schools here in Brevard and Osceola. But we have really enjoyed the ability to partner with you guys in the summer.
Absolutely.
Because being able to continue these discussions with kids and kind of bookend, right? Have them understand these lessons and the content and refusal skills and build those protective factors during their school day and then in their community after school. You're really serving the child. Yeah, it's huge.
It's a
because-
holistic approach to
Right.
the entire person.
What we know is when a negative experience happens, whatever we've been learning, we kind of let go of. And we have to kind of start over and rebuild those blocks. And so it takes continued effort. And I just want to thank you guys. Y'all have been a great partner.
Thank you. And thank you to you. I mean, we feel the same way. Kids are, the same and also different in different environments. I'll say the same thing that I often say when I try to get my team into a strategic planning session. I will take them off site and I tell them, you can dress completely casual. I don't care if you're in sweats or anything, because we know when the environment and how you feel matters for how open you are, right? It's the same thing with kids. Different environments solicit different outcomes and different responses, which is why we have to be able to partner together to get the whole picture.
Your name again?
Jamie.
Jamie Henry. These are two phenomenal presentations today. You see the response,
Yes.
and I would suggest one thing, if you haven't thought about it already, you're planting a seed, but we want you to be a part of watering it with us. If you can consider having some advocates or yourselves to be a regular fixture to this platform, join us.
Okay.
This is an ongoing thing.
Easily done.
It's important because, just like you're saying, we talk about things with great heightened moments and passion, and then because of everything else we're doing this, it dissipates over time. We can't allow that. These are two things that'll have impact on just about anybody else's
That's right.
roles here. So
Yeah.
consider having someone join us. If it's an extension of your advocacy, be a part. This is a great platform for that.
Agreed. Thank you. Any other questions?
I just wanted to make a comment real quick. Thank you for what you're doing and what your organization is
Thank
doing. Also, make sure, if you haven't already, please reach out to county staff to make sure that you're signed up for any type of procurement notifications for when we do issue requests for proposals for opioid abatement funds, because that goes through a specific process.
It does, yes.
Yes.
And we have been in conversation
Okay,
about
perfect.
different things, which is why I'm here.
Okay,
And
perfect.
able to meet all of you on this wonderful Monday morning, which hopefully it's not going to be raining when I leave. But yes, we will absolutely do that so that we
Perfect.
can talk about it.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, thank you so much.
Well, I think that's been a great way to start this Monday meeting. So thank you both for the presentations. We are going to move now into our members' report. And first up, I have our family strengthening and infant mental health.
Thanks. Good morning, everyone. Gabrielle Bargerstock again with the Healthy Start Coalition. Just a few updates. Healthy Start is in the beginning, not the beginning, we're in the middle of our 5-year service delivery planning process. This is something that we're required legislatively to do in each of the coalitions across the state. It starts with a needs assessment, looking at our local data, and then goes through planning for our goals and objectives for the next 5 years. So just want to update you all on a few of the data points. Generally speaking, Brevard County sort of sits in the middle in terms of how we look for our maternal and child health data, but there are some concerning areas that obviously we have been focusing on and will continue to focus on. Brevard has the highest percentage of births occurring with no prenatal care for women of all races. We're sitting at 9.4%. That's about triple what the state average is, which is about 3%. And unfortunately, that also carries over to the percentage of women. We have fewer women here in Brevard County who are getting adequate prenatal care. For us, it's only about 60%, whereas when we look at the whole state, it's more like 63, 64%. And then the other area of concern, actually there's two additional areas of strong concern. Our maternal death rate is nearly triple that of Florida's. We have a maternal death rate of 64.2 here in Brevard County, whereas for the rest of the state it's 24.2. So that's highly concerning, and obviously will be a strong focus. And then the last area of concern, and this came up both in looking at the data as well as when in all of our community surveys and focus groups this year, access to care came up as one of the biggest concerns for the communities we surveyed. There is a one-pager printed and at the back of the room. You all are welcome to send it or take it. We'll also send it out in soft copy after this meeting. If you want to read the full 90-page needs assessment, you are welcome to. Just get in touch with me and I will be happy to send it to you. But the one-pager does sort of drill it all down. I also want to say we're going to be going through the service delivery planning process until June. We welcome and appreciate input, feedback. We have a couple of committees working on it. If you're interested in being involved in that process, please, again, reach out to us at the coalition. I do also just want to provide a couple updates from committee members on family strengthening and the infant mental health subcommittee. And this is good news. The Brevard School District, when it comes to mental health and suicide prevention, they have been doing trainings for all of our youth. There's a state, and Dr. Spear, please correct me if I say any of this wrong, because it is yours. But There is a state threshold that requires 80% of our youth to receive mental health training. We are sitting at 93% here in Brevard County, so that's kudos. And that training is also available to other organizations, PTAs. So if it's something that you're interested in, reach out to Dr. Spear. And then the only other thing that I wanted to comment on, and this does come up repeatedly with the programs who report in our committee, access to affordable housing, stable housing. It's an issue for, I think, virtually all of our home visiting programs and many of the committee members. And that is all I have. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Next, we have the Child Abuse Prevention Task Force.
Good morning, everyone. Devine Vincent, the current captive chair. So just a few updates. I know since the last time we met, we do have our save the date that was sent out for our 30th annual celebration for the award banquet. We're looking forward to that. That's going to be on April 30th at 10 a.m. If you were part of the listserv for captive that got the notification, please feel free to share that with other community partners. If you would want to be part of that listserv, please make sure you let me know, and I'll make sure you're added to that. And then next week, we'll be sending out the notification for our nominations that will be opening for captive on February 1st. So any champions in our community from different agencies who have really been fighting that good fight for our children, please feel free to start nominating them next week. And for our next captive meeting, it is going to be on February 19th. So please let us know if you are not part of the email distribution and you want to be part of that. And then just another update, just for a quick thing that I shared with you all last time. So for our Parents as Teachers program, we were able to host our first autism community event last week on the 20th, and Mrs. Dorothy Lefford from Easter Seals, Florida, she is the Senior Vice President of Autism Diagnostic and Therapy Services, but she came to the presentation for our families, and we were able to get 6 children screened for autism. Out of those 6, 4 were under age 5, which we're really happy about because we're really trying to push early, prevention and early intervention. So we were able to direct those families, with the children who had concerns to further supports, and they got all that they needed for next steps. So that's it for me.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to try the new name. Next up is Unite Drug-Free Coalition. No? Uplift. Uplift. I tried.
Now everyone will pay more attention to me as I say the right name. That's okay.
There we go.
There is a Unite in Kentucky, though, so don't start
Got
any
the
fights.
U in there.
No, it's okay.
Trying to get you off the Brevard piece.
But that's okay. And I need this probably, I'm going to email you over at the county, too, for updating that, and to Phoebe as well. I'll attach her to that email for our new name. So as Lee mentioned, we are no longer doing business as Brevard Prevention Coalition. That is our legal name still, but our DBA is Uplift and branded as Uplift Drug-Free Coalitions. Part of the reason for that is because we're now serving Seminole County. We're about to get into another county, and we are doing work in Kentucky and has done some work in California as well. So just trying to get the regional specific name out of the way so it doesn't confuse people. That can be, we are territorial about where we are, right? So we want to make sure that people understand the universality of what we're doing in our services. Our new website is uplifters.org. So we're really proud of that and have some great ideas about how to use that to motivate individuals to get involved. You're an uplifter, you're an uplifter, we're uplifters. And the way we really approach that is that resilience, as well as just adding those protective factors, is really key to prevention. I'm kind of echoing what the presentation earlier from Boys and Girls Club brought up, but just giving the kids those skills that they need, and also adults, those that are trying to maintain recovery, parents, those that are trying to get their kids through life without having to deal with the pressures that we know come with substance misuse and the pressure to use substances. So our social media right now is @UpliftersORG. All one word. And we're working on, I think all of them have been switched over. Facebook is like trying to change your social security number or something. Like, it is not easy. They are putting us through a whole bunch of things. Whereas Instagram, owned by them, very easy. Anyway, just having a little shout out about my frustrations with Meta. Outside of that, some updates for us. Exciting news. at the end of last week, was asked to lead our state and at the Capitol. So CADCA is an organization that provides a lot of resources for prevention coalitions and professionals in the prevention space nationally. They've been doing that for years, and they have their annual leadership forum in DC. Lee, you'll be there as well, every year. They also do another summit during the summer, which I think will be here in Orlando this summer. They switched that one around to different cities around the country. Anyway, annually there's a Capitol Hill Day where all the states kind of get into their groups and then they go and speak to their representatives at the Capitol. I've been able to speak to a few representatives, a few senators as well. Sometimes you get their staffer if it's crazy time and something's going on. And so they reached out to me actually after a conversation I had with Lee. They reached out to me the next day or so and asked me to lead the Florida group and also give some instructions to them on what to do, what not to do, not to lobby. That's a big one, but to let them know about the trends, your initiatives, and the concerns of your region. So that's going to be great to do, and be able to also share from our local perspective in our region what we see as a concern as being brought up, but also to be able to see what's going on around the state and provide some resources to our partners when going there. I'll provide more information about that for those that are interested in knowing more, but it's great to have a local vocal piece for you all. CADCA, I don't know if you can look up their website and see more about what they do. It's led by General Barry Price, who has been a really good advocate. They also advocate federally for just all prevention resources, and they're also collaborating in 30 different countries as well. We are doing wonderful things here with the Brevard Public Schools, so things are rocking and rolling. I haven't had any issues come my way as far as logistics so far, but our BWI, Better Without It diversion program, for those of you not familiar with Better Without It, please look it up, betterwithout.it. Grown here in Central Florida and led by Central Florida Cares and my organization, and then the marketing firm that helped us create Better Without It. Piece of that is our diversion program. So all the kids in Brevard Public Schools that get caught with vaping, that's the specific issue. With substance use issues, come through our program after school. It's an 8-week program in the evening. Their parents have to be involved in 2 of those weeks, one-on-one. I got to sit in on the north area. We do it in Cocoa, actually, the central and north area. And I will say some of those same myths that we were talking about earlier are still very present in some kids' minds. We had one of the kids in the group say, well, marijuana is being prescribed. Why is this such a big issue? Why am I even here? So we had to have a conversation about that. The group stepped in and really, as a youth, it's amazing to see the youths as a unit help one another, and we just kind of facilitate. So that program is doing wonderful things. It's some qualitative information. And before that, we have our Youth Empowerment Leadership Program for kids that have finished the program but need that follow-up to continue going forward. That'll be happening January 29th. 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Cocoa Civic Center, and also in our south location, which is at our office on Dairy Road, 1916 Dairy Road. Looking forward to helping those youth continue forward with their leadership skills. And we invite partners like Career Source Brevard and other providers that can help provide some of that mentorship piece that you were speaking about. So I'm also excited about getting with the Boys and Girls Club to enhance some of those things. I wanted to finish off on some trends. Some of you may be familiar with some of these trends, but I wanted to bring it up because it's still impacting us as a community and as a country. Kratom, for instance, is marketed as a dietary supplement for pain relief, anxiety, and opioid withdrawal, but its primary components exert activity at the mu-opioid receptors, and we're not getting too clinical with that. Basically, the effects that you get from taking an opioid are possible with Kratom as well, and the addiction is possible also. Many people don't realize that. They believe that they're following a path of maybe harm reduction, or they're finding a way to, put their addiction to something less harmful, but it can still trigger the same things. It's not federally scheduled. It's been linked to seizures, liver damage, hypertension, and opioid-like withdrawal symptoms. The FDA is aware of it, but it's just good for us at a local level to be aware of these things. Another one I wanted to bring up was nitrous oxide is still out there and causing issues. The whippets, laughing gas, kids are still getting into that as well. Delta 8 and Delta 9, we know about that. The potency of those are also concerning as far as labeling is going. There is no real regulation as to how much THC is in some of these products, regardless of what the label says. And I like to always bring up that the 0.03 THC statistic, that came from the 70s from a study that was being done. They didn't intend that to be a national level at all, but the government took it and utilized it as that. And so there's no real scientific foundation that that is the magical number that will or will not cause these effects with individuals that are utilizing it regularly. There's also Salvia divinorum, a legal hallucinogen when smoked or chewed, has rapid onset of hallucinations, dissociation, and loss of environmental awareness. So just letting individuals know about these products out there. I think every prevention method works, but not necessarily with the same people. So we need all of these different things out there, the things that were brought up by the Boys and Girls Clubs, the things Edgar Connects does, the things that we do, even from the treatment and recovery providers, just being able to make sure those families are strong enough when parents are dealing with their own addictive issues. Just remember that 20 years ago was only 2006. So the same youths that were in classes or that were teenagers or that were going through these issues or that may have ended up in some of our treatment programs are parents now. And so they need treatment, but they need effective treatment that's going to help them provide proper prevention to their kids. And our meeting is Wednesday at 11 a.m. It'll be virtual. If you need the information, I can make sure I send it out so it gets to everyone here. That's our Opioid Task Force and Coalition meeting for the area. And then last, a plug for Central Florida Treatment Center. They are having their Palm Bay opening, grand opening, re-grand opening since they remodeled their facility, and they're inviting all providers to come because once again, treatment works. Maybe not everybody can go to the same place, and maybe not every provider resonates with everyone, but you want everyone to know about everybody's resources. So it's not about putting one provider over the other, but making sure we all support one another here. We can't all do it alone. Any questions? Okay.
You are a plethora of information every time you come here, man.
Yeah.
You give it with us through a fire hose.
Oh, I know.
Amazing.
But
But
too
thank
much
you.
information. But no, it's just good to be able to do it. I appreciate the
Yeah.
opportunity, and just let me know if you need any more info. That was the abridged version, believe it or not.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stanley. I look forward to our time in DC. Fingers crossed.
I did. I forgot to mention that. So the Central Florida Treatment Center, I think it's February 18th. And if you want to RSVP to that, you can let me know. And then also call them directly, their Palm Bay location. But you can let me know, and I'm sending them an RSVP list. So I think that's on a Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken, on my calendar. I'll just double check before I walk away. Yep. Look. Okay. Yeah, it's 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., 2198 Harris Avenue, Northeast Palm Bay.
Thank you.
You know, Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes.
You know, I was getting anxious thinking I'm talking too much, and people are like, yeah, that's you. But we go to 11, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to make another comment, you know, because you said something that really resonated with me. Hey, it's opportunity. Get a seat up here. You'll get the same opportunity. But, you know, I listened to, you know, Stanley over the years, and he's making such impact, and you're also growing as an organization, and so is the workforce and family partnership. I want people who are homegrown and focused on Brevard County to realize that you're talking about leadership that is loyal to this county and will always be loyal to this county. We're growing is because what we're doing is right and effective and impactful. So we need to embrace that notion because, you know, we went from 1 county to 4 counties. All I ever think about in that growth and expansion is how much I can expand on giving what we've been successful at and receiving best practices, support, leveraging of resources right back here. And so I just wanted to make that comment. You made really great things about, you started about territorial, and then you thought about, well, really, these issues are universal. They are. So let's not harbor what we know and what we know can impact. And secondly, we are a transient state. Let's be real. People are always moving around. So we're impacting and it's sharing. It's a great kind of an infection. So just wanted to make that comment.
Thank you. Moving to the next member's report is Brevard Homeless Coalition. I know that they have finished their point in time count, and I will just share just information from my counterpart who participated that they did see a dramatic increase in the number of seniors and also in young adults. So I think it will be very interesting when the coalition has some data Go ahead. Yeah, please add.
Just to add quickly, so and there's still some count sessions happening this week. I think, Terrell, you said you go Wednesday? And some today, so that's probably why they're not here. And I sit on the COC Advisory Council for it as well. They're working their way through also the complications with HUD and HHS. So they've put their RFPs on hold temporarily that they had released, I want to say a couple months ago, that they were going to do for local applications. And just kind of figure out what's happening with that process. I think a few things have been set back just from what's happening legislatively, and they'll put out another notification as to when they can release that RFP as well. And that's one that's put out, a requisition that will be put out by Brevard Homeless Coalition for local providers. So that was the last update I had.
Questions? Family Partnership of Central Florida.
Nothing. No, it's a joke. I mean, wanted to see what kind of reaction I get out of you guys. Come on, it's Monday. Who likes Mondays? So I'll be very brief with the sense that, you know, we are approaching on the fourth quarter of our second year of an expansion. And I'm proud to say that we're seeing metrics, particularly in the area of high acuity kids in high levels of out-of-home care, bringing them down, right, to lower levels of care, least intrusive and invasive kinds of programs, and more in family-friendly kinds of situations. That's wonderful for the well-being of our kids, but it's also wonderful for the system. And sometimes I even tell legislators, it's wonderful for economics, right? And so everybody should win on what we're making success at. But I will tell you something that I don't mind humbling myself, and that is, as a leader of an organization, now it's 430 employees wide, 4 counties, is I'm intentionally looking at the reevaluation of our footprint, our facilities. Why? We spend a lot of money putting housing for administration and workforce. I'm reevaluating how necessary that has been post-COVID. We still have a workforce that is probably, working from home and remote places, probably less than 50% of their time is at the office. Less than 50. So why? Why spend money when I could reevaluate that utilization? And if I have savings, and this is what I've been seeing and that I commit to, is that if I have savings in lease rent and stuff like that, which could cost us, $1 to $2 million a year in the 4 counties, and reinvest those in some of the positions that we thought we really could build into services that support the people who serve the people. We need more specialists in this industry of child welfare. It's complex. Children and family issues are becoming more and more complex. And what we need is really to raise the bar of technically skilled individuals to support the mission-critical frontliners. That's where we have our challenge in retention. So I just wanted to share that with you, because I'm sure many of you are probably thinking about that in your respective organizations. It's tough, right, to figure out how do you build a response to a growing capacity of need, not because we aren't succeeding, it's because our state is growing rapidly. And we don't often talk about that in relationship to how to respond to it. So Family Partnerships and this great team that I'm so privileged to be leading with is really buying into the fact that we got to reevaluate everything we spend money on. And I know my funder would be happy to hear that too, right? The Department of Children and Families. But to me, it's not about necessarily pleasing the funder. It's really about doing the right thing. So I just wanted to share that little bit about what Family Partnerships is about, what we at the helm are really thinking about, the reinvestment of dollars in. We are also continually working on salary equity and adequacy of our workforce continually. And we're trying to do that very, very diligently. Thank you very much. Any questions? No, don't ask that guy questions.
All right, we're going to go to Career Source, Brevard, Flagler, and Volusia.
Hi, good morning. Just a couple announcements, actually 3. The Clear Lake, Adult Ed Clear Lake Road Talent Hub is now open to the public. We opened December 1. Customers are now able to schedule appointments by visiting the website, our website. We also received 2 new grants that's available to serve eligible candidates from Brevard, Flagler, and Volusia. One of the grants is to serve young adults between the ages of 16 to 24 that are in school and also out of school. The goal is to expand career pathways for the youth through career exploration, job readiness skills development, and work-based learning opportunities. So I was very happy to hear from Boys and Girls Club this morning, and I would love to create a partnership with you. The other grant, by the way, that youth programming is called Youth Career Exploration Grant. That's what that one is.
We actually have it in some of our other counties that I'd love to talk.
Fantastic. Okay. And I'll also get you connected to Mark, who is our Deputy Director of Workforce Operations and Partnerships.
Because I know all about it. I love it.
Nice. Okay. Also, applications for the young adults, that's located on our website as well. Once you visit the Career Source Brevard Flagler Volusia website, just type in Career Youth Exploration Program, and it will take you to a little bit more information and the application for the youth. The second grant that we received is a supplemental grant to provide workforce services to dislocated workers, to provide career services. When I say that, it's individualized case management services to help them with career assessments, career determination, and of course, resume development, interview skills preparation, access various workshops, short-term training, vocational training, or work-based training, like on-the-job training and so on. And of course, we do all things to try to get people connected to jobs or careers, so job placement is one of them. Under this grant, we also follow up with the participants for up to 12 months to ensure that they're doing well on the job, and also if they need any additional support. This grant was made possible due to the layoffs in Kroger. Kroger Delivery had quite a few individuals impacted, I believe 53. There's another company, Bechtel National Inc., space-related, and so we were able to serve them as well. And I think there was some impact to Winn-Dixie. It may not have been through a WARN notice. A WARN notice is when a business notifies the state because they're going to lay off 50 or more individuals. They must notify the state. I don't believe Winn-Dixie had such a layoff, but anyway, anybody less than the 50 max that they were supposed to do the WARN notice for, we were able to serve them. The grant can serve other laid-off workers as well. And we also have dislocated worker funding, regular dislocated worker funding. So a call to action is if you are interested in becoming a worksite to host young adults or for any of the other programs that we have, because we do assist other adults, to get into work-based training, please let me know. Initially, I was going to say go ahead and email me, but I prefer text because I respond quicker through text. My telephone number is 321-759-3685. If you are interested in becoming a worksite, let me have your full name, your contact information, and just quickly indicate interest in becoming a worksite. The other thing that we've started is group partnership, quarterly partnership meetings with community partners, serving youth, young adults, and individuals impacted by opioid and substance misuse. We've had several meetings already for the year, and I think it helps us because as I go along meeting with community partners and I get information, I say, connect with me. It's becoming it's a bit much. So we're doing the group meetings, which allows us to address issues that are impacting the populations within the region. It helps us also to identify gaps in services. Biggest piece of it is leveraging our individual and collective resources, and that helps us deliver the workforce services that are needed. So if you have any questions, please go ahead and text me, or you can call me as well. Thank you.
Okay, next is going to be the Domestic Violence Task Force.
Good morning. Hey, I'm Cindy Mitchell with the Domestic Violence Task Force here in Brevard. At our December meeting, we featured a panel of some of our local law enforcement victim advocate units. Not everybody knows they exist, and they do so much for all crime victims and some, kind of a focus on domestic violence crimes. So we were able to hear from Cocoa Police Department, Palm Bay Police Department, and Melbourne. And so our next meeting, which is February 12th, it will be a virtual meeting as far as I know at this moment, will feature Brevard County Sheriff's Office, victim advocates, State Attorney's Office, our prosecution, and the FBI. So if you have any interest in attending, please, I'm the contact and I can add you to our virtual meeting. Okay. Any questions? Short and sweet. All right.
Thank you. Florida Department of Children and Families.
Good morning. Okay, so I just want to give you some update on some numbers real quick for December. So for investigations for the department, we have,
Yeah, no, it's pointed towards your mouth. There you go.
All right, so in December, we received 513 investigations through our hotline regarding children. Then as a result of those, for December, 19 children entered out-of-home care and 34 exited out-of-home care, which is, of course, we always want to see more exits than entries. And Family Allies in Brevard, which is the case management agency, hosted, or they did a Home for the Holidays event. So I think there were adoptions, permanencies happened, so that's always a great thing to see at the end of the year for the holidays. So that was a good number of exits. And then just to share what we do on the prevention side, we talk about our local review teams, our multidisciplinary staffings. These are concerning community youth who come to our attention or through DJJ's attention that we identify as what we consider dually involved. So the Department of Children and Families and Department of Juvenile Justice may know these children. They may be sitting in an assessment center. We may have an open investigation, or they're just children that are, we use the term lockout, but they could be like at a crisis stabilization unit or like in a detention facility. But just for December, for Brevard County, wanted to share, we actually had 19 referrals of those community children that had potentially some concerns, and we staffed those kids, so there were 49 staffings held just between all of the current ones that we're working, because there's usually more than one staffing for each child, just to come up with a plan for the family. But as a result of that, the family walks away with a champion, they have an action plan, they have some follow-up so that they know they have a team of people to help them, and really just to keep them out of our systems. And as a result of this process, we've been doing it for several years. The dually involved notification started last year, but as a result of that, our diversion teams through family partnerships, they've been able to hire additional specialists. Like Phil was saying, is we now have a DJJ liaison and an post-adoption specialist. So those folks are critical in helping families navigate, services. So, and of course, DJJ is a partner because they're in most of these kids' lives too, unfortunately. But we are seeing positive outcomes, and we did not have any of those children actually enter care as a result of it. And then the only other thing I wanted to mention, on February 3rd, it's a virtual meeting. It's on the myflfamilies.com website, on the front page of our website. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, it's the Child and Family Wellbeing Council meeting. It's from 6 to 8 p.m. because this is folks with, they could be foster parents, they could be youth in, youth in out-of-home care or post they're 18. We do a focus on, something each call they do, they talk about, policy updates, but also focus on what the youth are working on, through the council, their youth council. So if you want to join, it's through Teams, and if you go on the website, the link is on there. You just join it. It's at 6 o'clock. So if you have any questions, let me know.
Okay, we will move to the Department of Juvenile Justice.
Yes, good morning, everyone. My name is Omar Bola. I'm the Chief Probation Officer here for Circuit 18. Just a couple of numbers to share. Currently, we have 138 kids that are currently on probation. We have 448 kids that are pending adjudication, meaning they're on intake status. We have 17 kids that are currently on electronic monitoring. And then we have 19 kids that are on intensive supervision. We call that our ISP kids. Those are the kids that require additional supervision, additional services, additional contacts, not only with the child, but with the parent, with the school, and any service provider that they have providing services for that family. We have within Brevard County, really within Circuit 18, we have 2 active, I would say, alliances or chairs. I chair one of those, and it's the Juvenile Justice Circuit Advisory Board. And then we have the JAC Advisory Board, which is our Juvenile Assessment Center Advisory Board. That is a Brevard-specific board, and what they focus on is all of the municipalities, the police chiefs come together, and they talk about initiatives in order to reduce juvenile crime and also provide services to our juvenile population. Included in that is the state attorney, the public defender's office, we have the clerk's office. All those folks come together, and also respite is there as well. So we have the CEO of Crosswinds that participate. Matter of fact, it's at Crosswinds that the meeting is held. And one of the things that the JAC Advisory Board, like I said, the Juvenile Assessment Center Advisory Board, is focused on is allowing diversion kids, specifically domestic violence kids, to receive a pre-arrest delinquency citation. The reason why that's so important, the reason why I mention it almost every time I come here, is because the research shows that those kids have a 4% recidivism rate, meaning 96% of those kids, if they're offered a diversion program and they complete it, we won't see them again. So that's a great illustration of a diversion program and its process and its effectiveness. So they have devised a committee to look at that and make recommendations to the body. The committee has met and made recommendations to suggest that domestic violence kids should also receive pre-arrest delinquency citation. We're at 48% utilization as far as those kids being allowed pre-arrest delinquency citation. So that will be a big thing if the body itself votes to uphold that. Another thing they want to do is redo the memorandum of agreement, which is, I think, 7 years old. So there's been a lot of changes in the statute that will be captured with that new update. The significance about that is because Brevard is moving towards that, meaning allowing kids to receive pre-arrest delinquency citation, I think the larger board, which is the Juvenile Justice Circuit Advisory Board, will move that way as well, because they have a committee that's looking at that as well. It's called their Data-Driven Decision-Making Committee, and under that committee, they're looking at pre-arrest delinquency citation as well. They're not as advanced as our police chiefs and our sheriff is, but they're looking at that as well. So they want to do some research behind that as well. The one thing I will share with you is that there are some counties that are far below utilization than we are, and there are some counties that are far ahead of us as far as utilization. But what the data across the state suggests is that those kids still have a lower recidivism rate if they participate and complete the program. The biggest benefit between awaiting adjudication and having pre-arrest delinquency citation, within days they're offered that pre-arrest delinquency citation. So the same sanctions that they would get on probation, they get pre-arrest delinquency citation, and they're able to connect the crime with the sanctions that they're doing immediately. So therefore, I would only speculate that is why the recidivism rate is so low, because they understand what's the causation of them being under that condition. So, and I think that's pretty much it. If anyone would like to attend the Juvenile Justice Circuit Advisory Board meeting, those are held quarterly. As participants, you can participate in it. There's a virtual option, and then there's a physical option. Each meeting is held in a county in either Brevard or Seminole County. The next meeting is going to be held in Seminole County, and then it flip-flops, but you're always able to attend the virtual option. And it's a great opportunity. The reason being is because obviously information that we share is reported up to headquarters, And especially when we talk about utilization, that is reported straight to the governor's office. So, thank you.
Next, we have the National Center for Innovation and Excellence.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ruby from the National Center for Innovation of Excellence. I'm reporting our quarter one grant goals. We do have a grant, the Brevard Behavioral Health Expansion Grant, used to enhance our system of care. We had 163 individuals who were referred to mental health or related services this quarter. We had 21 who were referred to diagnostic and evaluation services, 30 for outpatient services, 6 for 24-hour mental health crisis emergency services, 54 for intensive home-based services, 50 for respite care, and 2 for therapeutic foster care. We had 3 consumers, so these are people who received services who are now providing peer support mental health related services because of the grant. And we had 77 wraparound practitioners who participated in high fidelity wraparound certification training. 104 care coordinators participated in wraparound principles and values training. Also at the National Center, we train nationwide for high fidelity wraparound. We just concluded one of our trainings for the month of January. I don't have the date for February, but if there isn't anyone who's interested in our wraparound training, you can contact me to let me know. Thank you.
Thank you. And Brevard County Sheriff's Office?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Brett Carmen here for Under Sheriff Waller, who couldn't be here today, but I am his alternate. So we have nothing to report. But as Under Sheriff Waller mentioned before, if any of you ever have anything you need from us, any reporting or information you need, we're happy to provide it. So just let us know before the meeting, and we'll bring it for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We are going to move into the unfinished business, and we have a vote to consider Laura McCarthy as a representative with Brevard Recovery Fest as a tip at large member. And her information was received and reviewed. I believe the requirements were attendance, and then the submission of the request to be considered as an at-large member. Do we have to get any other information before we vote? Would anyone like to ask any questions?
I have more a comment. I do fully support Ms. McCarthy being a member of the review and recommendation committees for the opioid abatement. I think she provides a great perspective. And none of my other comments are directed at you, but I have some questions about this larger committee's makeup as a whole. I think as we're adding additional members, this committee is huge. And as you see, we're running very short on time again this morning, and we've just finished through the presentations. My understanding when I first joined this committee that it was also subject to the Sunshine Law, which brings some concerns for me as far as people that are members of the committee communicating outside of the committee. And I guess I don't understand why this is an actual committee of the county versus like a stakeholders group that's meeting without the support of county staff. I think it opens up some questions when we have this many members and what's being discussed at these meetings. I've been up here for some time now. There very rarely is any action items. This is the first one we've had in a very long time. So I'm just a little unclear on the process of this group and what is being conducted. There's several of us members that sit up here that don't provide reports. I love coming to this meeting and I love hearing what all you guys are doing, and I think it provides great collaboration. But I just have some concerns about the overall makeup of what we're doing here and the value and the time that's being spent with this particular group. So I don't know how to fix that. I would also like to see, as a member of the RFP review committee and the recommendations committee, that group be meeting more frequently, than just when RFPs are being drafted, because we obviously have had some issues with the RFP process both times it's been conducted, but that group's only being pulled together at the time the RFPs are being created and being issued. And I think some of the things, such as like the presentation from Boys and Girls Club this morning, that probably should have been to one of the opioid committees, because this really isn't the forum to be submitting proposals and requesting funding. Now, I can speak for the city of Melbourne. I'm not speaking for Palm Bay or for the Space Coast League of Cities members, but the reason we are appointed to this board is strictly for opioid abatement funding in order for the county to be the administrator of those regional opioid abatement funds. So like I said, while I love coming and seeing all of you, I'm not sure that the cities are really actively participating, which is taking up seats of people that maybe want to be members of this group. So I don't know how to facilitate that and what the answer is, but I do have some concerns about the makeup of this larger group and then how it's being, I understand the subcommittees, but I guess I don't understand why those have to be subcommittees of the TIP and why the TIP is not just an informal stakeholders group being organized by the county, so that you guys could meet more frequently, have open communication and collaboration, because if everybody is a member, my understanding of the Sunshine Law, you can't be communicating outside of a public meeting. So I don't know what the answer to that is, but those are my comments.
I have a follow-up question to that. I'm curious to recall and maybe look at the TIP information, the difference between at-large membership versus the member reporting. Over the years that we've participated, there were very specific members that reported, like our task force and coalitions. So I don't know if there's some clarification that might be needed on the difference between an at-large member versus who is on the member reporting list.
Okay, I have the resolution here. I'm not very familiar with it, but I can look at it, and I can get back with you with any answers. But from what I picked up where it was when I started. You all were already doing all of that at this meeting, so it just continued. If it's not the correct way, I will review the resolution, and I will speak with Juanita, and we will discuss it, and I will get back with you on that. But everything that you all are doing was being done prior to.
Yes.
So I don't know if it deviated from what this says or not, but I will get back with you.
Am I able to help?
Sure. I'm sorry. Yeah.
And I don't want us to forget the Vote for Recovery Fest as
Yes.
well. I think that's still an open.
Yes, we got it.
But, so there historically has been a lot going on, and the resolution will help. So the TIP members that sit up here, the focus was not just supposed, and I know some of the information over the time has changed and how it's been administered, supposed to be a group that serves as an advisory committee for all social service issues in the county, made up from different departments as it is right now, and that was supposed to be the main function of TIP. Now, the opioid dollars that came through, which the county was made eligible to administer, created a need for there to be an opioid task force. We have one. Most counties administer that themselves, I will say. We didn't have one here. I started it, and it helped us be able to qualify because we needed to move quickly when that process came up. But having the opioid dollars come through and be, how would you say, having the RFP committees and the recommendation committees, that was done out of convenience. So it may be, as Rebecca has mentioned, time to reevaluate that. Membership, for instance, when I worked with Eckerd Connects, we kind of took over having that. That's when I created most of those components. And so we were placed on this committee to kind of fill that role. So just giving that how that got kind of incestuously mixed together, and it may be time to reevaluate your structures as you brought out for that. But if you're needing, not to belabor this any longer, but if you're needing any help, there's a lot of us that have been here for a long time that can help show you why things were done, so you don't also undo things that might need to stay the same while looking at places where it can grow.
Yeah.
And I think too, there's several members in this list that are standing members that I've never seen at these meetings. And it says
for the statute.
correct,
So
correct.
That's where, like, I think Stanley's, TIP initially, my understanding was before I started in this position too, but was to align with the Community Alliance staff.
This point, well, the reasoning behind it, true at this point, but I wanted to just bring that up to the committee.
Yeah, I just, if I may, a couple of things that come to mind is, what is each position on the board supposed to do? Because as a chair of a committee myself, my job is also recruitment of those vacant spots based on the statutory requirement for them to have positions.
Yes.
So I think a part of that, I mean, we could always build up an ad hoc committee to look at this, to make sure that we're in compliance, to make sure that these questions are being answered, addressed, and those folks that should be members are members, and those folks that shouldn't, because based on lack of attendance, should be dropped off. But there are statutory members that we need to re-engage to make sure that they come. So I think that may be a part, especially if it's in line with the Alliance, because as you know, in Seminole County, that's, you know, they have to re-engage us, you know, when we don't show up. And there's a qualification as far as how many times you miss in order for you to drop off. And oftentimes, it's just the position, the person moved on, and the office is unaware that that commissioner needs to be here, or that person needs to be here. So I think it's just us reaching out to some of those folks. But I do think to look at the bylaws, we might need a ad hoc committee to focus on
Yes.
that. Doesn't mean that that ad hoc committee is there forever, but necessarily really just to look at it, and it may just be dissolved once that situation
Yeah, I think
is
that's a great idea.
rectified.
Yeah.
Perfect timing for that. I agree.
Yeah.
And we're going over time with this, but there should be standing agenda items that address these things. And some of the people who were players back in the day are not necessarily players now. Doesn't mean that they
Correct.
shouldn't be, but maybe they fell off, you know, they weren't, the baton wasn't passed properly.
Yeah.
Is what happened to a lot of those situations.
Now, here's the other thing, and I don't want to throw another grenade into this, but I will throw it. But nonetheless, you know, as far as the body, most committees, most boards has a requirement to sit on a committee. And oftentimes, we're looking for people to participate in committees. I don't know what the bylaws say about that as well. You know, I'm not on a committee, but the bylaws may say, as my membership, I'm supposed to be on a committee. So I may be failing in that regard too, and that's why I think an ad hoc committee would help us to make sure that there's a standing on committees that are needed, and that there's a standing as far as membership, and that we re-engage those offices that have had new people, and ensure that they know that statutorily they should have a person here.
Agreed. The last thing I'll mention, and I'll step back, is make sure, of course, include anyone. I know Jean's been here for a while too, but those that have been here for a while, back in the day, would make sure, please, to include some of our opinions and thoughts on that, so we can kind of draw back to why certain decisions were made, so we don't make we don't want to forget history.
Correct.
As well. And then the last would be a determination of the statute has to be followed, of course, but how many providers versus, you know, government office agency representatives do you want the body to be made up of?
Correct.
And the at-large members can also, of course, have a voice in that.
With the much larger discussion of membership and committees, do we want to continue with the voting for a new at-large member, or is that something that you guys want to revisit after this more in-depth conversation?
Yeah, you know, I hope, Laura, you'd be understanding. I feel bad. It's like what's remiss here is that you posed a question. I'd like to, you know, or a request, and we really dug up something that really hasn't been discussed, and it's interesting, and thank you for being bold to bring that up. That's what this community really needs to be about, to be comfortable and respectful. So would you be kind enough to understand to hold off on a response to that?
Do you want to come up?
Oh, why don't you come on down, the next contestant.
I really do see them as two separate issues. I mean, because it does clearly outline that, you know, at large members, what our role is, okay? So that's very clear. I think the delay is that I've been told we may have a new RFA coming out. And if you delay putting me on as an at-large member, I will no longer be eligible to help in the category that says 5 right? There's a category of 5 others, I'm an other, that I don't apply for these. And by the way, I was really surprised sitting through your meeting. I thought, oh, whoa, there's an other section. Like there's this other category. I would have qualified for other, okay, but here's why I'm not going to apply for that money. Because you guys are doing the front lines work. I just throw events for you. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to take RFA money that could rob a client of vital services, because I don't provide services. I provide a platform for you all to showcase your services, okay? So I won't be one of those people, but I am a neutral party that can be served in the RFA process. And if they're going to put another RFA out and I'm not an at-large member, you have lost all of my experience, which I've served this county since 2004 in the area of addictions and substance use. In fact, it shocks me to see some of the people that are actually on some of these committees that have absolutely no experience. But again, you have to go back to the purpose of this group.
That's right.
And I loved this. Thank you so much, Anita. I don't know if you printed this up, but if you didn't get a copy of this, this is the resolution right here. There are copies in the back. This was so insightful. And it could be just doing an ad hoc committee to revisit this document and say, is it still current and valid? Which I see as a completely separate issue than my at-large membership today, which is on, an agenda item on your committee. I would entertain and would love to hear a motion to have me accepted, just so that I could be eligible to serve you, because right now you don't accept me, I can't serve you. So that's where that stands.
And I will just say, as a member of the review committee for the RFPs and the recommendations committee, there's no RFA proposed at this time because those committees haven't met since November. So in that stance, you wouldn't be excluded at that point. But to counter that argument, she's come probably the last, 3 meetings asking to become a member. I don't want to postpone her any longer. So I would be okay with appointing her as an at-large member at this point. If something changes regarding the need for people to serve solely on the RFP committees versus at-large members, maybe that's something that comes out of that ad hoc committee, but she's been asking for months to participate in this process.
So I make a motion that Laura McCarthy from Brevard Recovery Fest be allowed to be a at-large member.
I'll second it. Oh, please.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations.
Anita, can we please schedule something on a future agenda to discuss that ad hoc concept and what that looks like? To review the resolution as well?
Review your resolution.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Stanley.
Thank you.
So we have for new business, ad hoc, and review the resolution.
Yes.
Okay. Our next meeting would be in March. In this capacity of TIP, my familiarity with other committees is that to have extended meetings, you have workshops. Is that something that TIP can do? Because that's another 2 months before there is a meeting. So we have had a workshop.
Or do we want to pick like 5 people or so right now to be part of that ad hoc committee and go ahead and schedule a meeting next month? Would that be more to keep this moving? Because to Laura's
I think
point,
to keep it moving, we need to do that.
We don't need an agenda item next.
So does anyone want to volunteer?
I do.
To be a member of the ad? I'll volunteer since
I will abstain.
Okay.
I will too, since I'm not on the
Okay.
committee.
Yes, Tracy.
Okay.
Okay, if each one of you that are volunteering could say your name, so when we do the minutes, we'll have it and we'll know who
Okay.
said what.
Rebecca T. Bear from Melbourne.
Phil Scarpelli from Brevard.
Tracy Clinkfield, DCF.
Omar Bowler with the Department of Juvenile Justice.
Is that 4?
That's
Shanna Spear, Brevard Public Schools.
Okay. Do we think that's 5 people? Do we think that's
5?
Yeah.
Is Stanley allowed to participate or participating in our ad hoc committee?
It doesn't matter.
I would from the historical perspective.
Yeah, I
because
agree. I agree.
When I look at the room, I'm not sure how many have attended for 8 to 10 years. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we have 5 members for that. So if maybe after this meeting, if staff could poll those 5 people for a date, maybe in the next month.
That's 6.
Oh, is that 6? I'm
That's
sorry.
6.
6 members. So if we could poll us for schedule availability for a meeting of that, if we want to call it ad hoc committee, subcommittee, to review the resolution and the member makeup of the TIP and both of the opioid subcommittees.
That would allow the new business to possibly be an ad hoc committee update.
Correct.
Yes.
In March.
Yes.
To provide some feedback on that time of evaluation and perspective.
Yeah,
Which would y'all prefer?
yeah,
So y'all want to put that on the agenda?
correct.
Okay.
And I think we also need to review the applicable statute.
Yes, please.
Excuse me, could you rename all the people that you just?
Yes.
Yep.
Rebecca T. Bear, City of Melbourne.
Philip Scarpelli, Family Partnerships.
Tracy Clinkfield, DCF. Jana Spear, Brevard Public Schools.
Omar Bowler, Department of Juvenile Justice.
Okay. Okay, now on this committee, are you gonna recommend that some of the same members, the way that it's written in here, that someone from like the county or the sheriff department be on this committee, or you just?
Not on the ad hoc committee.
Not on the ad hoc,
The
okay.
ad hoc committee is going to review the membership of all of these and come up with a recommendation to the larger TIP board of what this membership should look like.
Okay. Mhm.
So
All
this
right.
smaller group is going to be the people that review that.
Okay, thank you.
The only thing I would say is Ian was a big part of the resolution, so I don't know if you want. Use your mic. I thought I am, sorry. I was gonna say Ian was a big part of, his team was a big part of the resolution, so I don't know if you want to add somebody from that team, because that's where.
I'm sorry, who is that?
Ian. with
Oh,
the-
Ian, okay.
Sorry.
I believe Ian is in a different role.
Yeah, he's in a different department. What I can do is I can ask Juanita, who is our new director.
Yeah.
If she would want to, because I had nothing to do with this, I didn't.
Yeah.
So I will ask her if she
You can ask
wants
her,
to be a
but
part of
she's
it,
not a
and
historian
I will do what necessarily
Okay.
I have to do to get it
And
going
happy
for you guys.
to work with you on whatever we think that
Okay.
meeting looks like, if you want to reach
All
out.
right, thank you.
Okay, thank you for entertaining me, guys.
All right. Any other new business?
Question, sorry.
Yes.
Who's going to, are you, Rebecca, gonna handle the coordination of when that meeting will be, or how does that?
I've asked Anita to have staff reach out to those 6 members to kind of do some scheduling first. And then I would presume at that first meeting, we'll decide who should chair.
Chair the meeting.
And, yeah, so we'll, yeah, but if they, through email, I think after we could come up with a date that works for everybody.
Any other comments? Okay, we do have a public comment card. Laura, this is for Brevard Recovery Fest? Okay.
All right, so y'all know the website is live, and I've got flyers back for there for the mental health event, as well as cards for the September event, so please help yourself. If you need more information, please do. I think it's really important. We haven't talked about the data mapping groups that are started in Brevard County. So I just want to bring you up to speed on that. Laura Chacon, if you want information, what is data mapping? They've gone out and mapped your agencies as a resource, and they're creating databases now with these various resources according to your zip code. So Titusville, that would be Laura Chacon, Parish Medical Center, reach out to her. Christy Stewart, Love Inc. Melbourne, by the way, if you need a faith-based person on that, boy, Christy Stewart from Love Inc. would be amazing. She's doing the Melbourne data mapping, and then Prosperity Initiative, which is the Palm Bay Chamber of Commerce, they do a data mapping, so that would be contact the Palm Bay Chamber of Commerce. That's vitally important. Just like being registered with Caroline, your organization that's offering any types of employment or services, you want to get registered with these organizations so they can get you on their map, which will then serve the community, okay? Are y'all familiar with that? Also, big change in the community. How many of you heard that Journey Pure closed its doors? Journey Pure closed its doors effective December 31st. But really good news. Foundations Health Centers started out of that. That's Crystal Dyken. By the way, she'd make a great presenter if you ever need somebody. She's a nurse practitioner, has opened up Foundations Health Centers, which is now meeting where the old Bayside, I don't know if you heard, Bayside Recovery and Wellness, which served our veteran community very well. Unfortunately, they closed their doors, and Morgan O'Shaughnessy went up to Peace Club. And I think they're doing maybe more court, I'm not sure. No, maybe more veteran stuff with Peace Club.
Like first responders.
First responders, yep, so that's where they went. So, but the building where Bayside Wellness and Recovery was down there at John Conlin and Palm Bay Road is now where Foundations Health Centers is, and they are doing medication-assisted treatment, IOP, all sorts of counseling services available now. So our loss, but our gain as well, right? Also, I just want to thank everyone who has stepped up. We already have our exclusive event sponsor for the fest. I want to thank Recovery Connections of Central Florida, which, by the way, they did open their new facility. How many of you got to go to their open house? It was amazing. They had over 100 people there in their Melbourne facility, 16, 17. That's free services. Anyone struggling with substance use, I would say 18 and older. I don't think we're doing teens, right? 18 and older. The Titusville office will be opening up, a soft opening, probably the end of February, but their open house will be March 20th. And do y'all need any other information from me?
No.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, any other announcements? All right. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in
You
favor?
gotta second.
Okay, we are adjourned.
The opinions expressed by any member of the public during any period of public comment do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of the Board of County Commissioners of Brevard County, Florida, Space Coast Government Television, or the program sponsor, and are solely those of the presenter. The Board of County Commissioners of Brevard County, Florida, Space Coast Government Television, and the program sponsor hereby expressly disclaim any and all responsibility or liability for any defamatory or slanderous statements expressed by any member of the public during any such period.